Was that scary for you to, like, let it all hang out, so to speak?
In many ways.
I'm sure. You got a lot of fans that, you're opening it up and letting them in a little bit more, and that has to be a little terrifying, I would
Well,
think.
I think that it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been willing to bare my soul for what we do, but I almost needed it more
Mm-hmm.
this time. I came through a very difficult time during the Indestructible
Yeah,
touring
I had
cycle.
spoken to you previously, about 2 months ago for an interview, and you had said that you went through a depressed period, and
Yeah.
that's it's difficult when you're in it. You feel like the only way out is through. I believe Trent Reznor says, and when you're walking through that tunnel, it's hard, and I think. For you to say that and to put that in the music, there's a lot of fans out there who are going to kind of really latch onto that, and I think that's
I
really
hope so.
powerful. Is there anything you want to say just about like
Sure,
that process, or
sure.
about what you went through and how the music or what you were
It, it
doing?
it's it, it needs to be said, so that let's definitely talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
December of the previous touring cycle, my former fiance left me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the beginning of this perfect storm of
Right.
crap that
Right, shit
ensued.
happening, right?
Yeah.
Ugh, the worst.
My best friend at the time, of 5 to 7 years, betrayed me
Mhm.
and forged documents in a business deal we had together and threw me under the bus big time.
Uh-oh.
And so that was another stab. My touring companion of 7 years and the love of my life, my dog Lisa,
Ugh,
I had to put her to sleep
yeah, that's
on the Music as a Weapon
probably
tour.
the most painful, I bet, out of all those
It
scenarios.
was incredibly painful.
Hmm.
She was only 7 years old.
Yeah, that's
and,
young for a dog.
and she fell to osteosarcoma, really
Aw.
aggressive bone cancer, and I saw her degrade over 2 weeks' time. And
Your
it
heart was probably aching. Ow, mine
it-
hurts right now talking
it was
about it.
horrific. So then I go ahead and because of that void, I placed an order with a breeder in Arizona for another puppy, another Akita puppy. And we even named her right away. We called her Angel. And they were sending me puppy pictures of
Mhm,
her
so you're
like a proud
stoked.
daddy, so I'm attached.
Yeah, of course.
I started a new relationship with a wonderful girl, and we hit a speed bump. So when I came off tour, um, I had intended for her to move in with me, and I intended to get my new puppy
Right.
and started, again.
Great things surrounding you.
And the puppy, Angel, died in transit to me.
Huh.
She had kennel cough or
Oh,
something, and she
God.
died.
And Root, and you were like so prepared and oh God.
Ready. And then my obviously because of the speed bump in the relationship, my girlfriend didn't end up moving in with me at that point in time. It took another 8 months to get to that point
Right.
again. So I came home off of tour, moved into my new home in Austin, moved from Chicago, where I only knew one or two people, and I'm in this big empty house with no dog, no significant other, and just spiraled into
Oh.
this
It
depression.
just seems like the recipe was right there. You had all the ingredients for a depressed bout.
The first three songs that were penned lyrically were the title track
Mhm.
Asylum, which is about the memory of a lost loved one
Mhm.
driving you to the brink of madness,
Mm-hmm.
and yet that memory is a haven for you,
Right,
a
right.
safe place you
Yeah,
go to when times are
it's
tough.
like a dual-edged sword. It's like you need it, but you can't get away from it.
Mhm.
Ugh, it's painful.
Followed by The Infection,
Mm-hmm.
which talks about the depression itself being a debilitating entity
Mhm.
that eats away inside of you that you have to destroy in order to survive. And then followed by a song called Crucified,
Mm-hmm.
which talks about how you feel post the breakup of a relationship where you're still attached to the person and find yourself unable to move on, as if
Mhm.
you're nailed to the cross.
Oh,
So
I
these
know
were,
it.
these are the first three songs penned, to which my guitar player Danny called me and he's like,
You
"Dude,
okay?
are you all right?"
Right, yeah, that was like a sign right there for
Yeah.
him, like a flashing light, like check in.
Yeah.
I mean, and the reason why I bring that up and you're sharing such intimate details with us, I think that it's important too because you probably have a lot of fans out there that are going through similar things, maybe not exactly the same, but they might listen to these songs and that might be what pulls them up by their bootstraps. And that's why I feel it's really important to talk
Definitely.
about that because, breakups are like, that's the most common topic in rock music. But when you hear like somebody, people relate to you now knowing that, you had that same experience.
Right.
And I think that makes the album that much more immediate, and, knowing that that's what you went through and that you put that out there. And I think that's really, really brave and courageous. And I think that your fans will really click knowing that and seeing you talk like that.
I hope so. I mean, to me, the music has always been a tremendous source of catharsis for me personally, and my salvation in many ways. You know, I think the reason after the charmed existence I've led from time to time that I haven't been institutionalized up to this point is because I have
music
the
to get
music,
it out there,
you know,
right? I always
and
say, like, I listen to like really aggressive music because it gets the red out, so that way, you know, I can go play with puppies and kitties after because I'm not
right,
so pent up and angry.
right,
So a couple other questions I want to ask you. Like, I always, you know, like to ask a couple of not so serious
sure,
questions, and you have, I always, you know, this is like your trademark.
the
What do you
double
call
labre.
the double labre?
Hmm.
Have you ever pierced yourself with it? Has it ever gotten caught on anything in any interesting? Well, I mean, okay, yes, that's kind of what I was thinking, but maybe I won't go there.
Well, when I go down for detail work, I take them off so I don't injure myself or others.
Detail work, I
Detail
like that.
work.
That's a good one. So, okay, so you know, there's probably female fans that are like, they got something
Yeah,
to think
these
about
are
later.
not these are not ticklers.
Yeah.
They won't work in that way.
So you take them off when you go do your
It
detail
can
work.
be very hazardous, yeah. Because if I bend down like this, see, they just swing.
Right,
out.
right. Oh, and
Yeah,
that's
that could be a
kind of
pro-
yeah,
that
that's
could be a
kind of an
problem.
area that you have to be sensitive to. Yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so how long have you had? I just find them to be really. You don't really see too many people with them.
Since 2000.
So you had them since you know since.
Literally when when we officially knew that we had our deal
Mhm.
and I knew I could quit my job,
Right, and you could look like and have something cool like that, right?
there were two things I did right away. Shaved my head
Uh-huh.
and did the piercing that I
Right.
had been thinking of for the longest time.
Right. So you've got yeah, that's great. It was like, you know, almost like a symbol of you being able to go pursue that dream and
Yes.
that career. So you take them out and is it like I don't know, what is has anybody do you find people looking at you like little kids looking at you
Oh, I
strange
get
when you're in the
stared at
supermarket?
everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Whether people know who I am or not,
Right.
these are right in your face.
Yeah, those are kind of you can't kind of ignore
And
those.
people are like, you know, what the hell is with
Mhm.
that guy? And or look at the freak, or you know, or wow, that's really cool.
Right.
I get compliments on it
Mm-hmm.
quite a lot from people who have no idea who the
Sure.
band is or who I am, and that's maybe, you know, my favorite thing is
Mm-hmm.
when people appreciate the individuality
Mhm.
and they appreciate that it does stand out.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it definitely is. You know, it's eye catching. People like look at it. You know what I mean? It isn't. You're kind of like, and when you showed me when you go down, like
Mhm.
you know,
They swing up like that.
yeah, right. They kind of like they look
They-
like a weapon.
Well, they were actually made custom specifically to the shape of
Mm-hmm.
my chin, so that if I, God forbid, am struck, that they don't go in.
Oh, and they don't
they're
cut
just,
you, right?
They're
Or
just
puncture
long
you.
enough,
Mhm.
but not too long to where I
Right.
would actually impale myself.
Right,
on
right,
them,
yeah,
put it that
yeah.
way.
You don't need that, you know, in the middle of like maybe your guitar's the headstock hits you or
Could
something.
ruin your day.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you have a new canine friend after your
I do.
after Angel had
I do.
tragically passed? What do you
I
have
do.
now?
His name is Gabriel.
Gabriel.
I used another angelic name.
Yes, right.
Um,
Is he
and
an
he's,
Akita?
He's a male Akita. I went to the shelters and humane societies all over Austin right
Mm-hmm.
when I found out about Angel's passing, and tried to find a dog I could connect with.
Right.
And you know, and I was really still stuck on getting an Akita.
Mhm.
I love the breed,
Mhm.
and I ended up exhausting my search as far as a rescue was concerned, unfortunately, which would have been my first choice.
Me
And-
too. Me too. I'm the same way because they need you. You know what I
Yes,
mean? But
yes.
sometimes it's not always an optimum
Yeah.
situation if you don't have kids or whatever.
Right. But I ended up finding a family that had a new Akita litter, and it
Mhm.
wasn't really a breeder, but just
Right.
a family in a home in Fort Worth. And I sped up there, 3-hour drive, got a ticket along the way, driving up there to
But
go
probably
get the
the
pup.
best ticket you ever got, right?
Oh,
'Cause you got your best
just
friend.
came home with my little bundle
Mhm.
of joy. You know, pure white male Akita. He's about 95 pounds now. He's a big
Wow.
boy, but
But we were just talking earlier because I just got a dog myself, and he's an English bulldog, and he's
Mm.
only 6 months old, and he is like a stitch over the heart. And he, you know, it's the best thing you could have. Animals, they give you such unconditional love, and they're the greatest, you know. And I find them better than people a lot of the times, and you can love them
Most
so
times.
much, you know, because they just want your love and want to give it and receive it, and
Yeah.
there's nothing purer than that. And
absolutely.
at least now, you know, if you happen to hit another significant other not moving in, you now have Gabriel that you can get
True.
through it with. And that's
True.
always like, you know, at least you know you have that.
My security blanket.
So
that's alive.
will you be taking your live security blanket on the road with
Oh,
you for
yeah.
Uproar? Really?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna take my girl and her two dogs too, which are now my dogs.
Right.
Our little furry family.
Yes.
Take them on the road.
So Uproar, let's talk about that too. 'Cause that's going to be coming up really soon. You know, it's Disturbed, Avenged Sevenfold, Stone Sour,
Hell yeah.